The universe is God. You are filled with vanity and vexation of spirit. You are loving and wise. You are exactly where you should be, although you want to run 1,000 miles from here and never return. Maybe you like where you are? Maybe your mind is running in 1,000 different directions, but you are here. Your mind is a powerful thing, and the many things you decide to care about is where your energy is going. A whole mental universe of things you are experiencing is a condition of being human. As a human, you experience pain and suffering. Your unconscious mind as it is can possibly be affected by a few things. Your environment might bring out different aspects of things to you. Or maybe you were like this from birth, and then your alchemy with your environment has to do with traits you already have within you. Either way, your beliefs can have a profound way of shaping the various things you may encounter on your journey in life. Maybe your encounters change your beliefs. Maybe you change your beliefs to accept an idea or use the idea to alter your belief. But why worry compulsively about things, be it material possessions or an idea or an ideal or a mission you need to accomplish? Why try to control the uncontrollable? Sometimes it is what is. As such, is better to let it be and understand the universe is not under your control and things are exactly where they need to be. For a reason greater than your or my understanding. But I like to sit back and let the universe do all the healing and aligning it needs to do. The world happens for you, it does not happen to you. But sometimes I feel like if I do not step up in some way and put my own spin on things, I will not have a voice at all. I would be under the spell of another person's charm altogether. Or at least a decision I want to make I cannot make, they profoundly rebel against it and try to force my mind to change. Worry does not empty tomorrow of its sorrow. It empties today of its strengths. Worry is like a harbinger of chaos that just feeds into your anxiety and drains you of all your energy and only makes you more stressed and hopeless. If you can, step back and find a moment to realign, find your faith, to stop worrying about everything. It may help to take a deep breath or find a less stressful environment or use some type of coping skill to practice. Finding refuge is necessarily important for spiritual growth, along with finding some type of inner peace that may have been eluding you or eluding to you. Like Bob Marley once said, every little thing is going to be all right. Faith is what, on Buddhist terms, an intermediate would go to refuge for. A beginner, spiritually speaking, goes to refuge out of fear. An advanced practitioner, on the other hand, finds it beneficial to go to refuge largely out of compassion. Compassion and kindness are two and the same. Kindness is perhaps the most beneficial thing a person can receive, being that it has a profound effect on our outlook on things and generally feels good in many ways. There have been scientific studies showcasing that receiving and bringing kindness into your life can increase your lifespan. I would like to take a second and meditate on that fact. That by having a great amount of generosity in your life, a great thing, can help you live a longer life. Faith acts as a kind of magnifying glass through which every positive quality can be enhanced. Fundamentals of Tibetan Buddhism, Rebecca McLean Novick. Faith is kind of a tool to bypass the ego, which is always coming up with ways for rational explanations to things. I hate to use this word, but sometimes is easier to chalk things up to the supernatural instead of trying to rationalize every part of your life that holds no truth. Since you cannot control everything all the time, sometimes it is good to let it be. As John Lennon once said. But then again, blind faith is not what makes you irrational. What is irrational is trying to make it seem like everything is under control when it really is not. There must be some type of balancing agent. Here is where faith can make you stronger and more readily available to accept the uncontrollable things while putting them in their proper places. Faith is like a firefighter coming around when an alarm is going off to check up on you and make sure everything is safe. It can be used to balance your anxieties, manic depression, or whatever else may be going on in your life at the time. Tripitaka, the three baskets, are the three Buddhist scriptures. Bodhidharma is the nature of reality, just like the Prajnaparamita is the perfection of wisdom. Mahayana is the universal vehicle, while Hinayana is the individual vehicle. There are heroes and solitary realizers. A bodhisattva is a person who attempts to attain full Buddhahood. It is said it took more ink to write the Dharma than could be carried on the back of an elephant. Faith and religion can potentially open your mind to things you have never thought about before. Christianity, if false, is of no importance, and if true, of infinite importance. The only thing it cannot be is moderately important. C.S. Lewis. Jesus knew he would lay down his life for God, for he does God's work through him. He is the highest of God. He washed the feet of his disciples and told Peter he would deny him 3 times. When he is crucified, he says aloud, "Father, into your hands I commend my spirit." And they say about him, this truly was a man of God. He worked many miracles through God and was the Messiah. But I would not expect anyone to go through tragedy and have such a God-loving outlook on things. You spill coffee on yourself and curse God loud enough to scare your neighbors. But it is not a tragedy after all, because he is risen. Then people from all over began to preach the word of Jesus and the many good things he has brought to the world. Let he without sin throw the first stone. Although he is a righteous one and does not throw any stones. This is a brilliant thing. That lesson alone should be enough to let you know that there is compassion in this world. But so be it, the compassion of the Christ is probably a lifetime different than the people you may be confronted with. Be it your crazy ex or a boss or an alcoholic father. So that is enough to make you ponder what to take refuge from. If you should invest your time in taking steps to recover from a bad situation perhaps. Or to shed light on issues you may have at home, work, or in a relationship. Maybe you take refuge out of fear from something. Or it may be hard to find compassion for a boss or even faith when dealing with a crazy ex who just seemingly will not leave you alone. But it may be worthwhile if you are under especially anxiety-inducing circumstances to take a step back and make faith a priority. The struggle is real, although love is real too. Love and light captures harmony and understanding and conquers doubts. Some people live in the dark. Evolutionary momentum is on your side if you choose to find balance and pursue it. Suffering is not holding you, you are holding suffering. The word Buddha simply means awake. And the prince was surely not sleeping or blind to the truth of the world. That is, the truth of suffering. That is why he explains the 4 noble truths. I know life is hard and anybody can know suffering in one form or another. Sure, some suffering can be worse than other suffering, but the main points are to acknowledge it and find the antidote. The ascension of delusion is the path to suffering. Meaning the cessation of suffering is the path to enlightenment. The truth of suffering is infallible. You may suffer for many different reasons. Your attachment to worldly possessions, you are blind, living in poverty, or the many various problems you may encounter in life. I would like to point out, it may seem like others have less suffering than you, and that may be true, but they come with a whole other set of problems you may not understand or be able to deal with. Keep your problems yours, and their problems theirs. Please do not hold on to resentment any longer than you should. Like the Buddha once said, holding resentment is like drinking poison and expecting someone else to die. There are myriad reasons to feel resentment and maybe even bitter toward another person. True, but how long do you expect to stay mad without drinking the proverbial poison? You are only damaging yourself, and not letting yourself heal untreated wounds and growing from it. Spiritual growth is largely about forgiveness, so if you cannot find it in your heart to forgive and chase your own slice of the happiness pie, then who are you truly hurting with your attitude of resentment? Move on. The past is the past. The present is a gift, that is why it is called the present. It is all about letting go of what you cannot control and accepting what you can control.